Hey guys, Ivan here, and in this video we got a couple of very interesting bodybuilding updates. The first thing we gotta talk about is Mike Sommerfeld. So as you guys know, after the Mr. Olympia, there was no sign of this guy for a while there, and then he showed up, slowly started posting again, and this past weekend he did a guest posing at the Mexico Pro. And to be honest guys, he was struggling really bad to make the weight for classic physique. So I thought for this show, since he had a full week after the Mr. Olympia, I thought he was gonna come back much bigger, much fuller. I was kinda expecting him to do something similar to what Samson Dauda is planning on doing at the Prague Pro, but honestly, based on this video right here, this pretty much looks like the same Mike Sommerfeld from the Mr. Olympia. He doesn't look any bigger, and he doesn't look as big as he looked at the Arnold earlier this year or at the Mr. Olympia last year. So basically the same package from the Mr. Olympia, and I would probably say the same conditioning as well. This guy did not let go of the conditioning at all. I don't know what he was doing. Was he prepping for this guest posing? Did he actually stay on a very strict diet? Did he take some diuretics to dry out for this? I'm not sure, but honestly, he was in crazy condition here, even though this was a guest posing. And I saw some updates of him before the Mexico Pro. I thought he might actually jump in and do the open show. But no, I mean, if he was actually going to do an open show, everybody would know about it. It would be advertised like crazy. So no, he didn't do that at the Mexico Pro, and he didn't look that much bigger doing this guest posing compared to his Mr. Olympia look. And this got me thinking, so either he simply cannot put on the muscle he lost to make the weight in 1 week, and Samson is not going to be able to do the same thing either for the Prague Pro, or the other thing is, maybe he's actually intentionally trying to stay lean and small, I would say, like for him, stay under the classic physique weight cap, but for what reason? Here is also a new video of him posing only 2 days ago, and as you can see right here, he still looks downsized. His legs still look small, again, compared to what they were last year. Even his upper body looks pretty flat and small for Mike's standards. Like, Mike was huge at the Arnold Classic or the Mr. Olympia last year, so he's still not back at that size, and it's been like 10 days since the Mr. Olympia, so what is he doing? I don't even know if you guys really noticed, but he was significantly smaller at the Mr. Olympia compared to the last year or the Arnold Classic, especially in the legs. Look at his legs right here. Much smaller and flatter. His legs were much bigger and fuller back when he was allowed to weigh 212 pounds. So I'm wondering what is next for Mike Sommerfeld, because if he wants to stay in classic physique, yeah, sure, he can probably win the Mr. Olympia. If he's a little bit lucky, yes, next year he can defeat Ramondino. But is his physique ever going to be able to shine fully in classic physique? I would have to say no. I already see that it can't, because he needs to be at least 212 pounds to look his best for this frame. At 204 pounds, it's not happening, guys. It's not happening. He's definitely a lot worse than last year. So is he going to be happy and satisfied with that and, showcase a weaker physique that's going to potentially win the Mr. Olympia instead of going to a class where he belongs? And that's, I would say, open class, not 212. I think he can definitely get even better if he goes beyond those 212 pounds. How heavy could he be here, in this photo, for example, in his Mr. Olympia prep? I mean, my best guess would be like 230 pounds, but he looks like he's 250. So this guy could do really well in the open. He is very complete. That's the thing. That's very rare. That makes a good bodybuilder when you're complete. He doesn't lack arms, delts, back, chest, legs, hamstrings, glutes, conditioning overall, balance, proportion, symmetry, everything is there. Conditioning, he has it all. He could be a really good open bodybuilder if he puts on some more size. In the 212, he will still be limited, but he would look better than in classic physique. So again, I'm not sure what he plans on doing, but this look right here, this is not a great look, not for Mike. Now, another theory for why he's staying this small and this shredded right now is that maybe he plans on doing another classic physique show this year. He's already qualified because he placed in the top 3 or top 2 at a Mr. Olympia, but who knows? He still might be planning on doing another show, something like Romania, maybe. We'll see, but again, as far as his future career, I don't think he should stay in Classic. Even though he can win the Mr. Olympia, Urs was probably potentially able to win the Mr. Olympia. I mean, he beat Ramondino last year. He didn't beat Mike, but Mike was much bigger. So if Urs did the Mr. Olympia this year, he could have won the show. That was definitely a possibility. But he switched to the Open because he didn't want to hold back that much. And that's what Mike is going to have to do over the next years. Yeah, I know his plan is to get to 5'9" for the next year, but that's probably not gonna happen. So yeah, my idea is go to the Open, not the 212. Go to the Open, grow a little bit more, and be a force, man. That's the way I see it, guys. But if you think he should stay in Classic, tell me down below in the comment section. Alright, now the next thing we got is a physique update by Michal Krizo 3 days after his show in Britain, and a lot of people are worried about Krizo's conditioning. Will he be able to peak well for the Prague Pro? There are theories that maybe he didn't go for the full peak at the British Grand Prix because he knew he was going to win that show and he wanted to be maxed out for the Prague Pro. I doubt that's the case, guys. He went against some solid bodybuilders at the British Grand Prix, and that's his opportunity to qualify for the Mr. Olympia. If he lost there, he would not have another chance at the Prague Pro. I mean, maybe he can do the Poland show or the Romania Pro, but is he going to have to face Andrew Jack? Is Samson going to jump in or somebody else? British Grand Prix was a pretty easy show for him to win, but it was probably his only opportunity to qualify for the Mr. Olympia, so I don't think he would waste a chance. I don't think he would go at like 90% or 80%. I think he went all in for that show, and I think he's going to improve in that 1 week between the British Grand Prix and the Prague Pro. Even though there is only 1 week in between, there is this thing called the whoosh effect. I don't know if you guys heard about it, but basically it happens very often. I don't know if you guys compete, but you may have noticed that after you do a first show, the next show you already look much better. Why is that? That's because sometimes you lose the body fat, but your fat cells stay in your body and they're just filled with water. So when you actually eat after a show, you have a lot of junk food, you lower your cortisol, the water disappears. And for the next show, you actually look much leaner. And it's not only because you improved significantly those 7 days, but it's because your body finally relaxed and it let go of the water instead of the fat cells. So that's something that can happen with Krizo. Also, sometimes 7 days can definitely make a difference. And maybe he didn't peak maximally for this show. Maybe he messed it up. Maybe he made a mistake during the peak week. And also, of course, there is a factor of the photos. The quality of the videos is terrible. And the lighting was also a disaster at the British Grand Prix. But here we got a video of Krizo posing right now. Again, 3 days after that show. And in this video, under the day lighting, he actually looks much better. Now, again, he's qualified for the Mr. Olympia, so I don't think he even plans on winning the Prague Pro. He doesn't need to win it, but can he crack the top 3? That's a question. But I think it's pretty safe to say that he won't be able to crack the top 3. Not that he cares about it. This guy is probably the most chill bodybuilder out there. Nobody is getting less stressed than Krizo about the placings. He's just doing his job. That's the way he sees it. He's a bodybuilder. He competes. What happens, happens. And he's doing his best. And that's it. So at the Prague Pro, in order for him to place in the top 3, he needs to beat, for example, Martin Fitzwater. Even though he looks crazy right here, Krizo, again, conditioning is improved, the size is crazy, the shape is the most muscular, just amazing. He needs to beat Martin Fitzwater, for example. And we got a couple of updates from Martin, and as you can see, he's bringing it, man. Like, Tyler said that at the Mr. Olympia, he was a little bit downsized, so I think he's probably gonna try and bring better fullness for the Prague Pro, but in these photos, he already looks crazy, man. Look at his conditioning from the back. He's freaking dry. He's dry and full as well. And Krizo was spot on, if you ask me, for the Pittsburgh Pro. And he didn't really come close to beating Martin. Not really. So why would he be able to beat him at the Prague Pro? Unless Martin messes it up totally, it's most likely not gonna happen. And Martin also wasn't able to beat Samson, so yeah, Krizo is not beating either Samson nor Martin. And as far as Keone Pearson, that's gonna be also very difficult. But as far as Martin Fitzwater, once again, yeah, it seems like this guy is bringing it. He is not playing around for this show, and at the Mr. Olympia, he didn't get a chance to go against Samson Dauda. At this show, he will get a chance. Is there a possibility of him actually pushing and beating Samson? I mean, it's going to be very difficult, especially now, because at a Mr. Olympia, that was probably Samson at his absolute worst. So Samson can only go up. Samson can only improve for the Prague Pro, and as far as Martin, we'll see, but you know, he can be a little bit better, not much, I don't think so. But whatever happens, it's still gonna be an amazing comparison, because I really wanted to see these two guys compared. And if Samson is really improved the way he is claiming to be, and if he was truly that much off, peak week-wise at a Mr. Olympia, and he's actually improved significantly for this show, then it's gonna be lights out for anybody, for Keone or Krizo or Martin. But let's actually take a look at Samson, and let's see how much bigger he looks at 300 pounds. So as you can see right here, he is 300 pounds, as he says, which is 20 pounds heavier than at the Mr. Olympia. How much of those 20 pounds is new muscle, new tissue? Does he actually look improved? Does he actually look bigger? Let's take a closer look at this again. So in every post after the Mr. Olympia, he was 5 pounds heavier than in the previous one. And in this latest one, do his legs actually look bigger, fuller, improved? I don't think so. His upper body also pretty similar to the Mr. Olympia. So I don't think he's gonna be that much bigger and fuller. And I'm also worried about his conditioning. If he tries to carb up like a maniac for this show, how much water will he actually be holding? So imagine if now he's downsized and watery at the same time. Imagine if that happens. Then would he even win this show? I mean, that would be so devastating for him, because he planned on winning the Mr. Olympia. He really thought he would do it. And if he won the Mr. Olympia, he would actually earn $600,000, more than $500,000. And by placing out of the top 3, actually ending up in 4th, he only got $40,000. Guys, that is a huge difference, a devastating loss. That affected him for sure, big time. And I don't know if he's able to think very clearly at this point and to see his body realistically. But I still think it's very difficult, almost impossible to come in worse than he was at the Mr. Olympia. Again, the only way would be if he came in with the same size, just more watery, but I doubt that's really gonna happen. I think he's gonna be better, because what he brought to the Mr. Olympia was a disaster. So yeah, I think he's gonna look better at the Prague Pro, and he's most likely going to win. He's definitely the heavy favorite, but you never know, man. You never know. We thought he was going to win the Mr. Olympia. He placed 4th. We thought Urs Kalecinski is going to place top 6 at his first pro show, and he ended up winning 2 pro shows back to back. Nobody saw Andrew Jack coming the way he did, so you never really know until you see these guys compare on that stage. Who thought Derek Lunsford was going to place 2nd and beat all those guys at his first Open Olympia? So with Keone, we don't know. Until we see Keone on stage next to Samson, we don't know if Samson is actually going to be able to beat Keone. I mean, this Samson. Samson from last year, I would be pretty sure that he's beating pretty much anybody in the world. But this Samson against a bigger and fuller, possibly even harder version of Keone. I mean, at that guest posing at Pittsburgh Pro, the difference between these two guys wasn't that big. Yeah, sure, a huge difference in height and in structure, but as far as the size, like waist to everything else ratio, wrists to all the muscles ratio, not that big of a difference. I mean, obviously Samson is a bigger man, but proportionally, I think these guys are pretty similar. There are certain body parts that look bigger on Keone, like the arms, the lats. I wouldn't say the same thing about the legs and the chest. But the waist to shoulder ratio and the shape of everything and just the overall size, these guys were actually pretty comparable. And guys, keep in mind, both of these guys got in shape in the meantime, but it's Samson who lost 20 pounds of muscle. Keone did not lose anything. He was actually 10 pounds heavier at a Mr. Olympia this year compared to last year, so he kept on more size. And we think it's impossible for Keone to beat Samson because of height. Guys, Sean Clarida managed to beat guys like Tony Burton and Regan Grimes a couple of years ago. They beat him this year because he was slightly off, but size, height wasn't that much of a factor. I mean, Hadi and Derek, who are similar height like Keone, are beating Samson every year. So why Keone wouldn't be able to do it? Yes, he's a little bit lighter, but he has crazier proportions. So, yeah, I mean, Keone can definitely win the Prague Pro. That's definitely a possibility. But again, it's not very likely. It's not very likely. I wouldn't bet on it. Samson is still the favorite. But again, guys, you don't know until you see these guys on that stage. Anyways, down below in the comment section, guys, you tell me whatever you think about whichever part of this video. If you guys enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. If you guys need coaching, DM me on Instagram at Even Bodybuilding Coaching. And thank you guys so much for watching the video. See you soon. All the best and bye-bye.